Thank you, Denise, and thank you all for being here tonight. I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to think of something. I want you to think of a woman that you hold dear. Maybe she's your sister, maybe she's your daughter, best friend, or wife, and she's pregnant. Imagine that she wakes up one night to find that her water has broken and she's bleeding. Her heart starts racing, and she grabs her phone to call her doctor, but then she remembers that his office closed a month ago. And then she tells herself, that's right, I'm supposed to go to the hospital. But when she calls the hospital to let them know that she's coming, they let her know that their labor and delivery unit has recently closed. The nearest place to give birth is now 2 hours away. So she and her partner get in the car, not knowing how quickly labor is progressing, not knowing if the baby will be okay. They're just hoping, they're just praying that they'll make it in time. For thousands of families across California, this isn't just closed across our state. And today, 12 counties across California do not have a hospital where babies can be born. When access to maternity care disappears, women are more likely to receive late or no prenatal care, and complications like severe bleeding and preeclampsia increase, making pregnancy and birth unnecessarily life-threatening. And those risks are not shared equally. In the United States, Black women are about 3 times more likely to die from pregnancy-related causes than white women, and American Indian and Alaska Native women face similarly elevated risks. These disparities persist even when we account for income, education, and insurance, which means that the problem is not about individual choices. It is the systems that we have built around care. What I am describing is not simply a national maternal health crisis, it is a maternal care crisis. Because we know that when maternity care disappears from communities, pregnancy doesn't stop, babies don't stop being born. What disappears is the care that surrounds that birth. The skilled hands disappear, the trusted relationships disappear, and the support that keeps mothers and babies safe disappears. But tonight, I am hopeful. I'm hopeful because we already have a roadmap for how to rebuild our care system. For centuries, communities around the world have relied on people who specialize in exactly this kind of work, and those people are called midwives. Midwives are highly trained specialists whose care model has consistently been shown to improve maternal and infant outcomes across the board. Expanding midwifery care in the United States isn't just compassionate, it's smart healthcare. It's one of the most promising ways to restore care in communities that have been left behind. Today, I have the honor to serve as the Executive Director of the California Nurse-Midwives Foundation, where we do exactly that. We work to expand access to midwifery care across our state. And last year, I applied to be part of the Rise Up Together's Leadership and Advocacy Accelerator. That training changed my life because it helped me see something so clearly. That if we want to change outcomes, we must change systems. And when organizations like Rise Up Together invest in the development of leaders to change those systems, something powerful happens. Partnerships form, and solutions begin to take place. Rise Up Together's investment in my professional development and in the funding that followed helped position my organization as a statewide convener, bringing leaders from across California together to start creating the exact solutions that will improve the broken systems around maternity care. And moments like that don't happen by accident. They happen because people like you believe that healthier mothers, babies, and communities are worth investing in. Now let me share something personal. While the story I shared earlier may feel distant to some of us in the room, I learned firsthand how quickly even knowledgeable, prepared mothers can feel powerless in our maternity care system. I had just begun practicing midwifery when I became pregnant with my first child. With all my training and expertise, I just knew that I was going to have the most beautiful birth experience. But it didn't turn out that way. My birth experience was traumatic. There was a last-minute cesarean section. I struggled with breastfeeding, and I felt unseen and misunderstood in the very healthcare system that I was a part of. In the months that followed, I experienced postpartum depression, and I even had suicidal thoughts. So think if someone like me, a midwife, could feel that lost, imagine how much harder it is for mothers who don't speak the language or for people who don't know how to navigate our healthcare system. For too many families, the journey into parenthood isn't supported, it is simply survived. But I believe that we can do better. We must do better, because every birthing person deserves to begin their child's life surrounded by care and love, not fear. Together, we can build a future where no woman has to get into the car in labor in the middle of the night, fearing for her baby's life and her safety. We can build a future where our birth givers and our babies thrive, so that all of us and our communities can continue to rise up together. Thank you.
Affecting so many of our communities. And I just wanted to hear your thoughts in terms of funding cuts, growing threats to reproductive rights, like what's happening in your community and how are you navigating this current moment?
Thank you. I think about that myself. How have things changed? And one thing that I can say is that in a system that most of us maybe knew how to navigate, or at least we're familiar with, now feels foreign. As healthcare providers, a lot of us feel insecure. We're not sure what care to provide, what is legal anymore, depending on the state. Funding sometimes feels like funders are kind of holding things closer to their chest, and we kind of have to compete a little bit more for funding that maybe we would have gotten easily before. And I would say in communities, especially migrant communities, we've seen that women feel lost. Women are choosing to maybe stay at home or not get any care because they're afraid. And as healthcare providers, as midwives, we've really had to shift to figure out how can we meet the moment? How can we change the way we do our care? How can we work outside the system while still trying to change the system? So it has really been a moment of realizing how quickly things that we build can fall apart and how we must pivot to build better and stronger things for our communities and the people that we serve.
Thank you for that, and thank you for your amazing, amazing work. So as you think of, all the challenges and all the hard things that we all know are true, I'm going to go back to our theme of the evening, which is joy. So what is it that is bringing you joy and keeps you moving forward?
The thing that brings me joy is collaboration. Going to places like this, going to trainings like the one that Rise Up Together brought up. When I went to the Rise Up Together training, it was amazing. It brought me together with people that I had never been in a room with, especially with trans leaders. I realized I had never met a trans person. And they were so open and it was so beautiful. And Rise Up Together created this space where we could all come as we were, especially in a really politicized environment where we were safe, we could be authentic, we could ask questions and know that we were safe, and kind of work through difficulties in our own personalities about preconceived notions that maybe we had about each other. So the thing that brings me joy are moments like this where we feel siloed a lot of the time. We think that we're all alone, that we're the only ones doing these things, that there's nothing but bad things happening in the world. And all you have to do is go outside. All you have to do is talk to people. All you have to do is smile, and you will see that most of us are here to do good things. Most of us care. And a lot of us feel lost. And I think if we just walk together, we will find our way.
I love that. I love that. If we walk together, we will find our way. All right, well, so I just need to ask Olivia to stay on stage with me for one more moment, because we have a surprise for you all planned. So, you can have one of these, thank you. So we became an independent nonprofit, and when that happens, you learn a lot of things you never knew. Like the fact that having a raffle is actually required to be registered with the state of California 60 days prior to the event. So we could not have a raffle where you all could buy tickets, but we wanted to have a raffle anyway because it's fun. So you all have been entered into a free raffle for an amazing item, which is a Rise Up partner from La Cocina. So many of you may know La Cocina.